Yo, what's up, guys? We're in the middle of Illinois right now, and well, I was driving down the highway, heard a big pop, and yeah, this is fun. Oh man, I didn't even see it until now. Look at that rip! Oh my gosh, we've been sitting out here for 2 hours. Hey, what's going on, guys? A little bit of a different video for you today. Yes, the cat's out of the bag. If you didn't know before, yes, I got a new car. Yes, it's very nice. Yes, it's a Tesla. I haven't posted about it a lot just because I'm not trying to flex on you guys that hard and show you where my YouTube money got me. But I did buy a new car recently, and I wanted to finally talk about it. Although, you know, this video isn't exactly the way that I wish to talk about it initially. Also, big announcement, guys. I actually have an electric car channel called Volted that I've never really publicly talked about. So if you guys want to see my face somewhere else, smash subscribe down below. So it's Saturday, July 6th, 2019. I'm up in Chicago. This is just about a week ago. I charge up. I'm on my way home, about halfway there. And we're coming out of a construction area. So, you know, obviously I was like paying extra attention there just because autopilot does pretty well in construction, but it's not perfect. And, you know, an AI, an autonomous system is never going to be perfect. But whenever I see construction, I pay extra close attention to the road just to make sure the car doesn't get scared or confused. And it's like, oh, the lines are weird. I don't know where to go because it's not standard like a normal road. So we get out of this construction zone and I'm driving and the car is switching lanes. Again, this is all on autopilot. So I'm just holding my hand on the steering wheel to actually confirm the lane change. And as it's getting over from like the right side of the highway to the left side of the highway, I hear doo-doo, and it was the loudest pop or noise or smash that I've ever heard while inside of a motor vehicle. And I'm like, that was my tire. I know that, number one. I know that for sure. And I hear something like that outside, but I'm like, no, I'm making that up in my head. I look on my screen and I'm like, all right, I don't see anything. I'm pretty sure we're good, guys. And then I swipe over on my tire thing because it has like the TPMS, the tire pressure monitoring system. It says like 44 PSI on this tire, 44, 44, and in the driver's side left rear, it just says dash dash. And I'm like, oh no. No, well, you know, if this is true and then all of a sudden the screen pops up, please pull over immediately, tire pressure extremely low, like too dangerous to drive. So I went out and looked at the tire and yeah, it was busted. It was gouged. It was not like a little hole. It was nothing that like a little tire repair kit could fix. No, like there was a chunk of the tire missing, and I was like, sure, I could move a little bit further, but I really don't want to mess up my drivetrain. I don't want to mess up my new car that I paid a lot of money for. So I pulled up my AAA card, called AAA. It's about 35 minutes before we get connected to someone. So about this time, I call Tesla. This is right after we got the flat tire, and I'm like, hey, like I just need somebody to come fix my tire. We're on the side of Highway 55. Like, you know, we're 4 miles away from this exit or whatever. Just we just need the tire replaced. And in my mind, so I'm like, this isn't a big deal. Like I've heard good things about like Tesla mobile service, and they're just gonna literally come out, swap out the wheel. We will be out of here within an hour. It's not that late into the night. Like I know there's a Tesla service center near here. And then I talked to Tesla, and they were like, yeah, so we don't offer that service in your area. I was like, what do you mean you don't? So you don't give me a spare with the car. What do you mean you don't offer roadside tire repair? Like you know, help me understand here. Like you're not giving me a spare, and then you're not gonna come give me a spare. So how do I leave? And they're like, well, the car's gonna have to be towed for a flat. Like what? For a flat tire? Are you serious? Because towing, if you guys aren't familiar, gets very expensive very quick. Tesla was going to tow me 50 miles. Guess how far my home was? My home was 65. So they were going to pay for the first 50, but not for the last 15 to 20. They were going to tow me to a service center, which was in those 50 miles, which would have been cool. But then I would have had to take an Uber at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. or whenever they got here, or whenever I got to the service center, to my home and just leave my car on this lot that nobody really even knows it's there because the service center didn't open until 2 days later on Monday. So I'm going back and forth between Tesla and AAA, and they're both pretty much saying initially, nobody we can find within 40 miles of you wants to do it. And I was like, okay, because, you know, in my mind, I'm like, 40 miles is very far. And a tow truck, a very large gasoline vehicle, it's really heavy, that's going to take them about 40 minutes to get to me. And there's nobody within 40 minutes of me that wants to come take it, or 45 minutes of me, or 35. It's still very far away. So it's 1 a.m. Nobody's coming. It's 2 a.m. Nobody's coming. Finally, at about 2:15 a.m., AAA calls me and it's like, someone took the call and they're on the way to get you. Tesla was like, we also got somebody. They're going to be to you in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And at this point, I'm like, guys, I've been sitting on the side of the highway since midnight. It is now 2 a.m. going on 3 a.m. Somebody in the car with me has work at 9 a.m. the next day. And this is where I want to make a clear distinction. Like, I know it is not Tesla's responsibility to make sure that I don't get flat tires. It was my fault that I did not see the pothole because it was dark outside. We were going like 60, 70, 75 miles an hour on the highway. And I know that it's not Tesla's fault that I got a flat tire. What I do think is problematic is for not only Tesla, but companies like Chrysler. Somebody I know just got a new minivan. They don't have a spare in that either. When you don't include a spare or a way to get out of where you are quickly or efficiently, you put people in this kind of a situation. And that's something else I want to make distinct here. Like, obviously, Tesla cannot control who wants to take the call and who doesn't. AAA, the other place I called to try to get me out, also was like, yeah, we're gonna have to tell you, we can't do that repair on a Tesla. Nobody wants to touch your Tesla, which was another thing that was super huge. They were like, nobody within 40 miles of you wants to touch a Tesla because they're not familiar with it. So Tesla had to find somebody very specific that was comfortable with it to come out to me. And long story short, guys, 3:35 a.m., finally, my car gets loaded up by a AAA employed van. And it gets loaded up. The guy had to read the manual on how to hook up my Model 3 because he'd done other Teslas before but never did a Model 3. Figured it out. It can be towed easily. I don't know why everybody else was freaking out about it. It's just like a normal car. Like, there's really nothing special with it. People just hear Tesla and they get really scared. If this had been literally any other vehicle other than a Tesla, anybody would have come out, they would have fixed the tire, they would have popped a cheap little tire spare on, or I would have had one in the car, and I would have been on my merry way for 50 miles, driving 60 miles an hour really slow just to get from point A to point B. I could get a new tire at the local repair shop on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. But because it's a Tesla, the Tesla has special tires, and the Tesla has special repair centers, and the Tesla doesn't want to be towed by people that are unfamiliar with Teslas. So it was like these three things that stacked together that I was like, listen, I know that some of these things are out of your control, but as somebody who just bought a Tesla, these are really inconvenient. So anyway, when AAA got there, I had to make the decision to go to the Tesla service center or home. And at this point, because it was 3:30 a.m., I was like, I just want to go home at this point. So then I go, tow my car home, pull it in my driveway, whatever. I'm home now. But now this is the other fun part. That was part one. That was the easy part, I would say. The other part was, how do I get this car fixed? Because like I mentioned earlier, Tesla's not like, I don't know why it always shuts off. Tesla's not like every other car manufacturer. You can't just throw any wheel on there and be totally good to go. I have to get a special 19-inch sport wheel made by Tesla that anybody can apparently order, but it could have been weeks before tires got somewhere. So luckily, about an hour away from me is a Tesla service center. I called AAA. They tow me for free to the Tesla service center in Bloomington, Illinois. And the catch here is that I don't even know if the tire I need or any Tesla tires are in stock. Tesla Roadside can't check inventory for Tesla service centers, which again, I'm like, guys, come on. How can you not do this? How can you not tell me if you have one tire in stock that I need? So I was towing it to this place with the risk of not having my car back for 2 to 3 weeks, if that's how long it took for a shipment to come in. I had no idea if I was gonna be able to get my car back in a reasonable amount of time. When I asked about a loaner, they said, straight from Elon, we don't do loaners for this type of thing. So I filled out some paperwork when I got there, dropped it off. Nobody knew it was there. Tesla was like, yeah, if you get towed through us or towed through somebody else, it doesn't change your priority in the queue for Monday when they open at 8 or 9 a.m. to get the car fixed. So then I try to get in contact with the service center at 8:01 a.m. on Monday. They're like, yeah, we don't even have a phone number for them because they opened like 6 months ago and they're still kind of new. And I'm like, what? How do you guys not have the phone number for one of your own service? Like, again, it's like there's so much of it. There's so many disconnects here. And I see why sometimes Tesla's painted in a pessimistic view, because it's like, okay, if you don't have a number for your own service center run by you and owned by you and operated by you, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's a pretty big disconnect. I had this car towed there, no idea if a tire's in stock. I get a call from the Bloomington Center as I'm on hold trying to find the phone number. And the super nice guy named Justin calls me. He's like, hey, shipment's on the way of tires. You're really lucky that we've got some on the way. I'm going to do everything I can to fix it by tonight. And he also told me on the phone, he's like, yeah, I am the sole employee of Tesla Bloomington. And I was like, what? He's like, yes, I'm the sole employee for paperwork, for repairs, for checkups, for changes of Tesla Bloomington right now. What? How do you have one employee running an entire service center. That is something I don't understand. I do not understand how that is the reality of Tesla's current situation. Now, I get there, and my entire view of things starts to shift. I meet Justin, super incredible guy. I hope Tesla sees this video and can like give this dude a raise. Number one, for being the sole employee. Number two, incredible. Answered all my questions, found an issue, gonna send somebody out to fix it to me for free with like the NFC reader on one of my beams. Like just an amazing guy. Really handled the situation well, constantly texted me or called me with updates. This was the complete opposite of the service experience I was expecting. He was responsive, he cared about the situation. Tesla, if you're watching this, Justin at Bloomington, he's doing a great job. Please send him some more employees though, because I feel like it's a little bit of work. It's a little bit of work for one guy. So I go there, tire gets fixed. It was expensive. I think with labor, it was like $360 for a tire. But you know, again, I'm not mad or upset or expecting Tesla to pay for the tire. It was my fault that the tire got popped. I drove over the pothole. Actually, it was the state of Illinois' fault, so I got a bone to pick with you guys. But, you know, it's my fault that the tire popped. I was not upset that I had to pay for the tire. And listen, I get it. Like, they're a growing company. There's a lot going on here. But there is also something to be said about just general confusion, and that's what I got. Like, oh, we don't really know if anybody can get you. We don't really have the service number. We can't check inventory levels. Like, come on, guys. I need something a little bit better. This is not 1805. We didn't break down on our horse and buggy, and we got to send the mail carrier 400 miles to the east to contact somebody about getting a new wagon wheel. Like, you guys have phones, you guys have the internet, I hope, and it shouldn't be that hard. It really shouldn't be that hard. The wheel is perfect. I'm back in business. I just shot this video before recording this video. I've had no issues with the car since then. They're sending somebody out to my house to fix a couple of issues on delivery that I had. Genuinely wanted to tell you this story because I've never heard anything like it, and I would have never guessed in a million years that having a flat tire on a Tesla would be as big of a deal as it was. Just want to give you guys that story, give you this perspective. Let me know what you think down below. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Hit subscribe for more of this stuff in the future. And that's all I have in this video. Thanks, guys. See you later, and keep on driving safe out there.